Hello, I am going to apologize first off for not sending out any alert of this live stream, but I had either time to send the alert or time to do the stream. So we're doing the stream. We're going to talk about projecting blame. When a narcissist projects blame back onto you and may even call you a narcissist in the process. So let's start with that. We know that they don't take responsibility. A narcissistic person does not take responsibility or accountability for their actions, their words, what they say, what they think, what they feel, all of that. They don't take accountability for themselves. They may appear to be self aware at times and act like they are seeing what they're doing, but they don't take accountability for the action by showing empathy because they don't have any, by doing anything to change because they don't think they need to change, all of that. So basically, we know this already, right? We understand that. We'll just go with the understanding of that. So what happens when you have to call a narcissist on something they're doing? What if you are in low contact? What if you're co-parent, or I always say co-parenting, I actually mean parallel parenting, and I am being too nice when I say co-parenting because we can't co-parent with them. When you're parallel parenting with them, when you are having to have conflict, when you're having to have discussion, not even conflict, more like state your side of something or talk about something you need in a situation, what happens? They project and push blame back onto you. They will get frustrated at the fact that they can't get their way with you, and they will flip the script and project back onto you. What does that look like? Oh, and hey guys, in the chat. So, okay, so I have a couple things here. I have 4 little points. We'll talk about what it looks like when they project the blame back onto you. Narcissistic moms do this with grandkids too, says Jacqueline. And yes, they do it with everyone, don't they? Do it with their own kids. They do it to grandkids. They do it. Yeah. So tell me an example if you have one quick, short example of that, Jack. Let's see. Projecting the blame back means they're taking the action that they normally do, that they are doing, or that they plan on doing, or have done in the past, and they act like you're the one doing it. Okay, that's what I'm talking about when I say projecting the blame back onto you. What they do is they deflect. Number one thing I have written down here is deflect. They take the information, they twist it, or they derail it kind of and deflect. Basically, you're going, here's the point we need to talk about, blah, 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 blah. You talk about the point, and they go, look over there. Look, shiny over there. And you look over there, and then they start talking about something else, throw a bunch of word salad at you. That's a nice way of doing it. What they actually do usually is they deflect by changing the topic into something just slightly off topic, just slightly tangential from the main topic, right? That just a little bit off. They'll run with it with a bunch of word salad, a bunch of words, a bunch of accusations, a bunch of threats, and then they will never get to the point. They'll never talk about your point that was the main point of the conversation. Does that make sense? And then it basically pushes the focus onto other things. Usually it's related, or often it can be related things, so they don't sound completely loopy, right? They sound like they're talking about the thing, whatever the thing is, the issue. Maybe you I don't know, maybe it's an issue. I can't think of examples right now. I'm sorry. I should have wrote a couple down so I'd be more snappy prepared. But what are you saying here, Lise? My mother uh, what's 19th birthday bitterly complained because she expressed concern about strings possibly being attached to driving school. Oh, yeah. Now she's pushed blame onto Huffle Mama for filling her kids' heads with such ideas. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And so a way they might deflect in a situation like that. Oh, your eldest child. Okay. So so the eldest child is expressing concerns about grandma wanting to pay for something. And grandma then blames the mom, who is her daughter-in-law, for filling the kid's head with negative information, when in fact we know it's that the child sees it because it's happened to the child over and over again, where grandma does something and then the child owes grandma for the whatever it is. Grandma owes, meaning like doesn't actually owe, but is being made to feel like they owe. And so a way a narcissist might use that in a way to deflect is they might say, well, oh, I can't, I'm sorry, my example giving is just like not going to be there today. I have been nonstop talking for too long, but we'll get through this. And I think we all know what deflecting is, all right? And if you don't, ask questions or leave a comment in the ask questions in the main comments, and I will answer it as we go. So, or after the fact. Mine said I needed counseling. Said we'd be waiting for me to get corrected. He'd be waiting for me to get corrected. Oh yeah. Oh, I've heard the same thing, right? Oh yeah. Uh-huh. You're the one who is, got all the problems. Okay, so another number 2 point is the victim blaming and bullying. Okay, so another way that they project the blame is to victim blame. It's your fault. Basically, look what you made me do to you. Look how you made me act to you. If you would just behave, I wouldn't have to. If you would just listen, I wouldn't do the thing. If you weren't so sad, I wouldn't cheat on you. If you weren't, it's victim blaming. It's projecting blame back. It's putting the blame back onto the person who is the person that the thing was done to, right? Okay, so they project what they're actually doing. Exactly. And that's another point. Number 3, lies. The lies. They project the blame through lies. Often they're not flat out lies. It's often lies through omission. So they may tell a part of the truth, a part of something that is actually true, leaving out why, where, when, how, all the major points that need to be talked about, leaving all that out and just talking about one little piece, which makes it seem like they're innocent, deflects everything, projects the blame back to something else, and it's gaslighting. This is all gaslighting. Okay. They may even lie about something you said, or they may take a piece of what you said and twist it. So you may say, I don't agree to, trying to think of what in like a parallel parenting situation you might have that could be, I don't, I don't agree to the vacation time you requested because it's right in the middle of the first week of school. Makes sense, right? And there's no you could go a month later, you could have gone during the summer. I just can't agree to it then. There's no reason for it. The child is struggling already. So it's not in the child's, I can't agree to that. So you might have a firm stance on that. Okay. And they will say, you don't listen to your child when your child says this, and it's very clear because you're telling me you think you know what's in the child's best interest, and blah blah blah, and on and on and on, using big words and all kinds of accusations, saying that you're not, and they're deflecting it all back to making it as if you're doing something wrong to the child by disallowing something that's actually their poor planning. Like, let's say they just don't plan well and they chose the worst time possible, right? And you didn't agree to it. And instead of saying, I'm upset that you said this, and like having an actual conversation about it, deflect, point the blame, twist the words, right? That's kind of a bad example, but we know where my head is right now. So, okay. Lies through omission. Let's see, what do we got? Sin of omission, Nicole says. That's a good one. Uh-huh. Number 2 was what was about projection? I don't remember. Victim blaming. Let's see. They have to project onto others how they'd feel about themselves. They take no responsibility for their actual feelings. They take no responsibility for their actions or their behavior or the fact that they're gaslighting in the first place. All right. So that was three. Number four thing. I only have four of them here. They make others defensive instead of um, an empathic sort of discussion, which we know they can't have because they don't have empathy, that um, considers the needs of the other people and the issue at hand. And instead they attack. Right? So they make the others defensive because they won't listen to the other person. And instead, they twist the words, gaslight you, right? And don't consider your needs, don't consider your words, don't consider your position. Only talk about their point over and over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense? Is this sounding familiar? And then they attack verbally or stonewall you or word salad or silent treatment, whatever they're going to do, whatever their favorite flavor of attack is, verbally blame you, all that kind of stuff. When you have to stay low contact and you have to deal with them, this is what happens. This is what the relationship becomes. This is what the relating to them. I'm not even going to call it a relationship because it doesn't qualify as one. This is what relating to them is like. You get a heck of a lot of this. They're not going to they're not going to do things alongside you when you're low contact with them, such as parallel parenting or working together, or if you have a parent or a sibling that's a narcissist, or any situation where you have to have things decided. Say you've got a narcissistic brother or sister and you have to plan a party with them for, your mother's 80th birthday. It's not going to be simple because no matter what you do, all this stuff's going to go on. And they're going to want to they're going to want to take the glory. They're going to want this. They're going to twist things around when anything comes up that's unpleasant or needs to be discussed. It's just every dealing with them, you end up with this projecting blame thing back onto you, especially when you're talking about times when the narcissist is not happy, when they have been, when they're not getting their way, when they're in situations where they're emotionally unstable about, such as a divorce or a custody of a child or a parent of yours. So yeah, this is very common. They have a delusion, right, of being the right one, of being the one that's in the right, the one who's perfect, the one who can do no wrong, the one no one understands but is superior to everyone else, right? They can't they can't see the situations from both sides. So they legitimately, I often wonder, okay, here's the thing. A lot of people will say to me, and this comes a lot, I'd say more so from men, but women say it too. They'll say to me, I was told I was the narcissist over and over and over again. I'm told I'm gaslighting. I'm told, is this gaslighting? Here's what I said. Here's what they said. Here's what I said. And I look at it and I go, well, no, it's not gaslighting. It sounds like you what they did, like when I'll read a text, say, okay, and I'll say what it looks like is you asked a question or you stated a problem. They took that problem and sent back word salad, accusations, what looks to be lies, but I don't know because I don't know this whole story. But I see accusations, I see blaming, I see finger pointing. I don't see a question answered or asked. And then at the end, often there's like a covert way of asking for something, but it's very attacking. Okay. And then when the person's reply would be something like engaging with that, defending themselves, trying to discuss the points in the word salad that the narcissist talks about, and then finally trying to address the thing asked for at the end, asked for in a very passive aggressive way, right? At the end. And so what it looks like if you only read that person's reply is gaslighting. And I say, no, what you're doing is you're engaging in something. They set you up. They set you up so that your answer would look crazy and would look like you're defending yourself. Why are you, so this is why gray rock them. Do not engage in their nonsense because it just it's like a perpetual circle of blame shifting back onto you and projecting onto you the things that they're doing. They're gaslighting with every move they make, and then they're telling you you're a gaslighter. So, yeah, and often people will be told they're a narcissist, they're a gaslighter, they're I can't read examples, I wish I could, but I can't. So, um, they will also, lie about your positive actions that you're doing and then twist your truth into being a negativity projected onto you. So, for example, like say you have a child or something, and they'll say to you, "Well, you're not considering the child. I'm the only one that knows what's right," and blah blah blah. They'll get really, and when in fact you're actually really good at talking to the kid, right? So they're taking your good thing, twisting it into something bad and throwing it at you. What are you going to do? You either defend yourself and say, "What are you talking about? You feel bad about yourself. Oh my gosh, what am I doing this wrong?" Right? Because you don't want to hurt your child, or you ignore them, because which is the best route, because they're just projecting. They take the things that they do wrong and they blame you as if you're the one doing it. They it's like they have a collection of all the bad things inside of them that they know is wrong with them, and they want to point the blame at everybody else. And they do. They do point the blame. Hello, Shastina. Hello, Jack. Let's see, what are we saying here? Um, my other day, my mother was telling me to do something. She backpedaled quick and said, "Yes, of course. I'll keep the messages short." This is the point. Let's see. My mom tends to remember mistakes I've made in the past and keeps assuming I haven't learned from them and continue to make them. Oh, they love to do that. And often they're mistakes anyone would make, right? And then they'll just keep throwing them in your face. Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else today that they want to talk about before I get out of here? I just wanted to do a quick video about this projecting of blame, because they do it. And it's frustrating, you guys. It's frustrating to be on the receiving end of being blamed for something you didn't do. So you might be called a gaslighter or a narcissist. And in the entire angry, accusation is nothing more than gaslighting to begin with. It's so frustrating, and you can't defend yourself. You defend yourself, you look guilty. You don't defend yourself, you feel beneath them, and you feel kind of bad about yourself. There's no right way that it feels like, but really being indifferent to their nonsense, that's what gets you through it. What are we saying here? Leonard Oaks, hello. Sometimes after bad time, they pretend like nothing's wrong. Oh yeah, that's very much so. Uh-huh. Yes. Um, I love it when they learn the okay. I love it when they learn the narcissist terminology and throw it at you. Throw it at you as it's worded. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. How do you know it's not you? How do you know they're not right? This is the thing. A lot of times people are so confused by this because they're a person that wants to resolve conflict. They're a person that doesn't like conflict. They're a person that's afraid of conflict. They're a person that simply wants to relate to this other person. They don't understand what's happening, and it's hard to accept that someone is that toxic and someone is that um unable to accept accountability for anything. It feels like you can see it. It's so obvious. Why aren't they seeing what everybody else sees, right? And then to have them blame you and call you the words. And once they learn the terminology, and this is what I mean, a lot of guys in particular have asked me, am I gaslighting? Am I the narcissist? I was told for so many years I was. She or he knew all the words. They knew all the words. It's the unfortunate side of getting the information out there is everyone has the information, right? It's okay. They're not fooling anyone. They're not fooling. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing. If you know that your interest is the well-being of everyone, including yourself, but also other people. If you know that you can empathize with that other person, if you can see they act this way because especially if you tell yourself, "Well, I know how hard their life has been. No wonder they act this way." You're empathizing, okay? If you have empathy, go take a test to see, figure it out. If you have empathy, you probably it's not you, right? The narcissist will never accept that any of it is them. That's the difference. If you're asking that question from a place of concern and actually why are you concerned? So I would ask if someone says, "Am I the narcissist? Am I gaslighting this person?" I'd say, "What does it matter? Who cares?" Just like that. Who cares? What does it matter? And if that person says, "Well, I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to, if I'm doing that, I need to figure out what's wrong with me. I need to, then that starts to tell me that their person has some at least a conscience, right? And then the more they talk, you start to see their empathy. And then the more they talk, you see how confused they are, and you realize, okay, yeah, they've been gaslit and they've been called names and told they're something they're not. And they're believing it, which keeps them locked with that person, right? Okay. Sprinkle glass. That's cute. I keep feeling numb a lot. I freak out. I'm becoming like one of them. hmm It's not like not caring or just numb. Is this part of the healing process? Are you still with them? Are you on your own? Tell me what's going on a little more so I can answer that. The numbness, when we shut down and disassociate from our emotions and our feelings because to keep us safe, when we're with someone toxic and we have to sort of block out the feelings in order to cope and function, unfortunately, so does every feeling we have, right? You can't just shut out the darkness and have the light not get shut out too for a while. Everything shuts down. Your ability to feel anything for anyone shuts down. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're not becoming one. You're just at a point of low empathy right now because you're in like self-preservation mode. You're in survival mode. It is part of healing sometimes. It's exhaustion, it's a fatigue, it's all of that. So self-care, gratitude, generosity, these are all little tools. I'm just going briefly. Talk to someone, coaching or therapy, group coaching if you need it. Anything like that can help re-engage in a healthy way with people and in a healthy way with yourself so that you can kind of like learn to safely and like very slowly reopen up those emotions. You're going to start feeling a lot of the pain again, but it's okay because you have to feel it to heal it. If you heard Angie today talking on the other live stream, she said something really important, and that is give yourself the time you need in the beginning if you can. And if you realize later on, oh, I didn't do that, maybe you need to, maybe you don't, but most of us do. Give yourself a week, give yourself 2 weeks, cry, scream, yell, hit the pillow, you know, do whatever you need to do to grieve it out. And that way you are reawakening those feelings. And when you reawaken your feelings, she even said, she went so far as to say, you might even need to turn on some sad music or a sad movie in order to help yourself cry, in order to get those feelings flowing. Start moving through it and then set an end date to that. Okay, on Monday, I am up, I am dressed, I am showered, and I am going. I don't care how bad I feel, I'm doing it. And you start to reawaken feelings. There's all kinds of other tricks I have for reawakening feelings, but I like what she said on that. And so go watch that other live stream on her channel today too, if you missed it. Okay. Let's see. You have to stay grounded in the fact that you know exactly. Stay grounded in your own reality. When you're being gaslit, 100%. Yes, Nicole. They will argue that 2 and 2 is 5, and we know it's 4. But here's the thing. I'm going to add on to that. And you're 100% right. You have to stay grounded in your own reality. You have to literally tell yourself in your head, I know what I know. I know the truth in my reality. I know what happened. I was there. I experienced it. We have to be careful that we're not also projecting things onto the experience that are like making it feel worse. But if it's a simple thing and they're gaslighting you over something really simple, like whether you said this book is red when it's actually burgundy. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Right? But the reality is, you know the truth. To me, that's a reddish burgundy. You know, whatever, who cares? Like, you know your reality. And they're like, that's actually green. Like, when you know the gaslighting's happening, hold your truth, okay? To yourself, not to them. Don't argue. Don't explain it. I'm like all with the hands right now. Don't explain it. Don't engage. It doesn't work. It doesn't help. And it just makes you it makes it worse. It makes it keep going. Excuse me. Um what am I missing here? You're welcome. You're on your own with the kids. It's like I care. I'm just numb. Okay. There's so many exercises to help with this. I just can't go in. I have to go in just a few minutes here because I have a call at 2 and I need to get a quick lunch. So, um, there's so many exercises for reawakening your feelings. Um, try seeking out simple joys, and I'm talking so simple, and they don't have to make you feel a whole heck of a lot. Does that make sense? Notice when you do feel them. Look for the positive ones, okay? Try waking up that side. And it's sort of like everything's sleepy right now and dormant and safe and protected and tucked away. Just kind of peel off the safe ones for right now. The scarier ones that you got to process, the heavier ones, they'll be there. They'll come up. But um, support yourself with the positive ones right now. It could be anything. It could be something that smells really good. You can use your senses for that. And I'll leave with this one. There's so many exercises. I'm getting them all mixed up in my head, but try your senses. Try something that smells good, something that tastes good, something you like to look at, whatever, and just let it have a feeling. You don't need to name that feeling. You don't. It doesn't matter. Just experience the feeling and then move on. But notice it. Oh, I had an emotion. Okay, cool. And then move on. Try that for a little while, just to wake it up. All right. The narcissist does not even manufacture empathy at all. They can sometimes simulate it for short periods of time. Yes, exactly. They Nope, none. Okay. There was something I was gonna say. Hi, Huffle, Mama. Um, something I was gonna say, but hey, don't bark, lady. I've got someone working outside, so and I'm surprised how quiet they're being. Let's see. Recorded conversation and reviewed them later. Insane projection made it easier to stay grounded. Once you understand projection, it is a lot easier to just not engage with it, isn't it? It's frustrating. I mean, I swear I don't think anything frustrates me more than to sorry, I'm hitting the table. I don't think anything frustrates me more than that kind of projecting, that gaslighting and blame shifting, but it doesn't do you any good to engage in it. It really doesn't. This is a situation for gray rock 100% or completely ignoring, right? Completely like no rock, right? Um, okay. You go outside and stare at stuff and touch things and just and feel stuff. Good. Good. Let's talk more about that later. I'll try and do a video on that because I think it's important learning to feel your emotions again and experience yourself, your emotional life again. It takes a while. Um, okay, you guys, I am going to head out of here because I have to go today. This is just a quickie to talk. Let's see. I'm a good pattern interrupt. It's hard getting back to what I have to do and focus. It is. It can be. So I'm doing this month. So I'm gonna leave you the beginning of the month here. So I'm just gonna state and do my spiel here. If you need group coaching, you can join at any time, honestly. But the beginning of the month's a good time if you want to jump in. There's always new, fresh faces, and it starts. The month starts. This month I'm doing something a little more, which is I'm going to be doing like a self care exercises per week to go along with each. Normally, our group coaching is kind of where you're at, what you need, and it's basically mini coaching sessions in a group setting, and everybody gets their own time when they work with me. Which so it's basically like you're getting a session on your own, but other people are there, and you listen to one another, and it's really great because people, it's just a great group of people, and you hear your story in other people's lives. Does that make sense? And what I'm doing in addition, though, is offering some exercises for self care that are very practical. And the reason is because we get stuck. We get stuck thinking about the narcissist. We get stuck thinking we're never going to heal. We get stuck not being able to feel our feelings. We get stuck in these situations. So this is to kind of like shake it up and move people in the direction they want to go, right? And at least, in the very least, pattern interrupt some of the stuff that's going on right now. So there's that. So if you need it, come join me. I'm there. You can find information in the main description of every video. If you've not hit subscribe, please do so. The thumbs up, and I will see you guys later this week. You guys take care. Because that's it. Bye-bye. Let me see. Okay. How do I end this? There it is. I couldn't find the button. Bye.